Hello and welcome to today's episode of Sports with me, your host, REEMA ZUBAIRI. Today I'm very excited to have a guest here today, Armaan Wasti. Armaan, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So the sport that Armaan plays is called football in Europe and soccer in parts of North America, so I will use the terms interchangeably. So Armaan, you started playing soccer here in Newmarket, Canada, actually.
Indeed.
Can you tell us a little bit about how you actually started?
Yeah, I started the way most kids do here, the traditional route of, in Canada we have house league, and you go up to rep, and then from rep you keep going older and older and getting into better leagues. So from a young age I started football at the age of 10, which was actually kind of late, right, when it comes to players playing soccer now. Prior to that I was playing baseball my whole life, so I was always into sports, but soccer was a big change for me. But I saw Messi on the TV in the World Cup in 2014, and that, as Messi does, just changed my mind, blew my mind. So I was like, I need to change. So I told my mom, please put me in house league. We signed up. About 8 days in, I was told from the coach that, I'm doing really good, that maybe you should look at rep and get past house league. So as I spent a little more time in house league, I made it to rep. And I went through the clubs here, Newmarket, Aurora. I went to a travel team in Toronto, which would take me to USA. So I kept trying to just expose myself throughout the Canadian leagues, throughout USA, and I was able to land me some big shots in Europe.
And so before we move on to you getting to Europe, you did travel time, you mentioned going to the US.
Yes.
So how did that work with going to school?
It made it tough on the child, but as far as elementary, they don't really know exactly too much what to do. You would go for a couple days and come back, so it wasn't so bad. But once I got to high school, I had to really think smart of what I was going to do, because at that point, my family and I, we had a picture in our brain that I will be a professional soccer player one day, and that it can happen at any time, so we need to be prepared. So I ended up going to Bill Crothers, which is a sports high school here in Markham. You have to apply to get in. They take like 10,000 applicants, and they only really accept 500 a year, so it's pretty hard to get in. So I got very lucky, but they helped me out for when I needed to move eventually to what we'll get to. They really helped me out with school on homework and assignments, getting me kind of past the finish line comfortably whilst not even being in school and having to do everything online.
Okay, so it's the sports high school. They worked around your schedule for training and games.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you mentioned your parents understood that you were probably going to go professional. So as someone of Pakistani heritage who's Canadian, your parents are immigrants, I've met them, they're lovely people. How was it convincing them that you weren't going to go the traditional immigrant child-parent route of doctor, lawyer, engineer?
Well, that wasn't so lovely. That wasn't lovely at all. No, to be honest, it wasn't that bad. My parents had a lot of belief in not only me and my older brother. From day one, from all I remember, is that whatever we wanted to do or we projected to them, they never shut us down. And that was something that's all I know, right, from my parents. So when I told them that I want to be a professional soccer player, they didn't look at it as like, oh, it's just a kid saying this. They believed it. Obviously, I had to convince them with time, right? I can't just keep saying and not do anything. But once they really saw the passion I had towards it and that I was really dedicated, they were fully fledged in.
And when you talk about convincing them, I think that's a good segue into you have to show them you were serious, right?
Yeah.
And that would be through they not having to drag you to practice in games, and when you're there, you're really applying yourself. So what would you say was in a week, how many hours did you devote to football?
I don't even know.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't give you a number, because as a kid, I never saw it as hard work or training or I got to get up and do this. Like, it was just fun for me. As I think most kids can attest to, when they're playing in recess or when they're playing after school, they're not doing it for, I need to get better at this and that. They're doing it because they're having fun.
Right.
They're with their friends, they're shooting the ball, they're kicking the ball, whatever sport you're playing. So I devoted a lot of time, but it was because I enjoyed it. It wasn't for the hard work. But to answer your question, I could say minimum, I would say like 20 hours a week.
Wow. So, okay,
Minimum.
so it's a part-time job.
You're on the
essentially.
ball,
Yes.
yeah, basically.
Right. And I would imagine your parents had to drive you to practices during the week, and then you probably had games every weekend.
Yeah, I had my own team stuff going on, and my parents had to, I mean, there was some, like, once I started traveling the U.S.,
Yes.
you know, your parents are still with you. So my dad and I, we really formed a good bonding off it because we would be going everywhere. My dad, you know, I always say he's like the greatest dad in the world. He had so much work. He used to sleep in the car because he had to take me to places. So we all went through a lot of struggle to get to certain places, but I mean, yeah, they helped out a lot.
And you said your older brother was supportive as well.
Very, very
Yes.
supportive. I mean, he had his own life going on, right? But my parents were really busy with me, traveling a lot and everything if they wanted to join. So my brother definitely took a step back. You know, he's also a kid. He needs attention as well. And he understood the bigger picture, and that was really rare.
All right. So it seems like everybody sort of put forth effort, right? You played, you did the training, the sports. There must have been injuries.
For sure.
Yes.
I mean, it's everything in Canada soccer. You know, you need to pay, right? Parents have to, you know, expend some money. You know, kids have to really put in the effort. They have to have good grades.
Yes.
You know, you're moving a lot. You know, so it's really a family effort. I really say it a lot in a lot of my interviews that yes, I made it. Yes, I worked really hard. But it was not just a solo project. It's not just me. It's like a grouped project. My whole family did something here. It's not just me. And I always like to preface that.
Okay, that's good. So now let's talk about you're doing this Newmarket, high school, Canada, U.S. trips, but really football is Europe, right?
Yeah.
And so how did you make it to Europe? Like the first trip there?
Yeah, so I was 15 years old. And I've basically been through all of the Canadian system at this point. I've seen what I've had to see, and I knew that I wanted to be in Europe, or that maybe it's something I should give a shot. Luckily, there was a player who came, who's now a coach. His name is Yoti. He used to play with legends back in the day, like Maradona, or like some really, really top-class players. He played for the national team in Greece. He played in the World Cup. He was a legend in Greece. He came to Toronto, and we're in the GTA, maybe even Ontario actually, to pick 25 players to take them to Italy to showcase a new club that he was making and all the players. So he went through all around looking at different teams, different players, and he not only selected me to be in the 25, he made me the captain.
Oh, wow.
So he made me the captain to go to Italy to play against pro teams like Lazio and second division teams. That experience in itself, to be playing against those like big dudes in a whole different country, and I'm 15 years old, that opened my eye enough to see the level of play, the culture, that Europe is just a couple steps ahead.
Okay.
And I was clear about it. My whole family was clear about it, and we knew from that tournament, that I need to be in Europe.
Okay.
We need to figure out a way to get there. I worked harder, and luckily we were able to land ourselves an opportunity to go to Spain. I got a trial in Madrid to play in for our professional team's youth divisions.
Okay.
So I made it there. I got selected, and I've been working through the Spanish system since.
So at 15, you moved to Spain then?
Yes.
Okay.
It was actually my birthday when I signed a contract in Spain, so I was turning 16.
Okay,
Yeah.
so 15, 16, you
Yeah.
moved to Spain, family still supports you. I know, speaking with your mother earlier, it was hard for her. And she ended up initially moving to Spain as well while you were underage,
Yeah.
right? And so then you lived and played in Spain for the Youth Division League, you said?
Yeah, so it's a funny story. So I was told to go out there for preseason, which for people who don't know what that means is that before the season starts, that's when the trials happen. Everyone tries out. So what's supposed to happen normally is you have 2 weeks of a tryout. They then assess you over those 2 weeks. They give you some time to get your stuff if you've made it, and you join the team. Or you don't make it, right? For me, the issue was, obviously I was coming from Canada. They don't really have too many international players there, so it was different for them, but same rules apply. I was supposed to try for the 2 weeks, but within the first day, I was told I was going to make it. and that I cannot go back because if I go back, I'm going to lose the spot.
Okay.
So I was now in this pickle of I had to then live for however many months, I didn't know, with 2 weeks worth of clothes, 2 weeks worth of notice. My parents were now like, okay, what do we do? Because so it was a whole thing for my mom. That's the reason why she had to move out later on, because my dad went back and, you know, kind of left me. I had to do what I had to do, right? So it was a whole thing, but I was able to play 3 years in the youth divisions. And then at 19, I turned pro to where I am now, signing my first professional contract.
All right, and I'm assuming you didn't speak any Spanish?
Zero.
No. Okay, so you spoke no Spanish. Had you been to Spain before, even on
once,
a trip?
when I was 10 years old.
Okay,
Yeah.
so essentially new country, new language, new culture, new food, but it is football.
Yes.
Which you love, and you know that this is what you want, and you have your family support. So then 4 years you did, 3 years, sorry.
I was there for 3 years.
3 years in the youth league. All right, so this gets us to the point that Armaan turns pro. So we're going to take a break, and then we'll come back and talk about Armaan's pro career.
A criminal charge can be an ugly and nasty surprise. Don't let bad decisions or unfortunate circumstances take control of your life. The criminal lawyers at Alam Law Chambers will listen to your story and develop the best defense for you. Nothing in life is more important than your freedom. Reliable and affordable. Alam Law.
तुझे खाते मैं दुनिया तुझे खाते मैं प्यार तेरा रखा मैं चोरी 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 हुए मैं चोरी चोरी तेरे नाल लालैया खावे चोरी चोरी
Hello and welcome back to our episode today where we're talking about football with Armaan Wasti. Armaan, welcome back.
Thank you.
So what I did want to talk a little bit about was if there are football players here in Canada and they also want to go to Europe, how do they know what to do? How did you and your family figure it out?
Yeah, it's interesting. Now obviously times are changing, but when I was playing, the opportunities seemed shortlisted at the time. What I mean by that is that we all thought there was maybe two routes. The specific route would be you be in the leagues here in Canada and maybe you try and go D1 in USA, right? That's normally the route that most sports take. But I think soccer is a lot different. You know, it's not essentially basketball or hockey where you would want to do that. Europe is another place that is bigger than North America, right? But there's no specific route towards there. But what I did, you know, my father and I, after the Italy trip, we realized that, you know, you really need to work hard yourself to get there. Nobody's gonna really come and scout you. What I got was an anomaly to be scouted.
Okay.
But it doesn't happen all the time, right? I was super lucky, for sure. I worked really hard, but not every kid is gonna get that. So what I would say to people is reach out, right? Create a CV for yourself, create a video for yourself, create your highlights, and send it to teams. You're probably gonna get 95% rejection. I did.
Yeah.
But that one team that maybe one day will allow you to come, and then you grasp on your opportunity in that point. But a lot comes with it, right? If you do make it, which I did, cost problems come in, because now you have to move countries, right? Your family comes in, who does what. So it's a whole bunch of things that come into play, but there are opportunities that are able to be seeked from you guys here in Canada.
Okay, so you seized the opportunity. Your parents helped create the opportunity also.
Yeah.
But it's not enough just to be in the right place at the right time. You have to have done the work to be able to deliver in that moment. And obviously, you haven't said it, but it's obvious that coaches see you play and you're very, very good. So they see that and you deliver. So then you get on the teams, and obviously you must have done well in the youth league as well. I imagine they renew the contract every year, right? You get, like any team, you would get cut if you're not up to the standard or continue to grow. So then you stayed in the youth league till you aged out. And then the next step is you obviously want to continue playing football, so you try to get signed with the professional league.
Turn pro.
Yes. So how does that work in Europe to try and get signed?
So for me in Spain, the way it works is from 16 to 18, you're in the category of youth.
Okay.
A professional team can pull you out and make you pro, like we've seen with Lamine Yamal or something like that. But for most kids, you are in that division. Okay. You play throughout that system until you're 18, 19, and then you have, similar to what I was saying, you have a CV now that you can send to clubs. Whether they want to sign you or not, that's up to them. But that's how you do it, and that's how I did it. So I played throughout the youth system. You're right with the yearly contracts as well. You play throughout the youth system, try and develop your skills as much as possible, develop your stats, statistics, and then you go and try and find a team that wants you.
Now, when you're in the youth league, I imagine you are being scouted if you're in Europe in a youth league?
Yes. Yeah. It's available. It's possible, but again, it's super low.
Okay.
Super low chance.
And I imagine that, like in any of the major pro sports, there's a lot of youth and not as many positions for pro, right? Like supply and demand.
Right.
Yes. Okay. So you send out your CVs. There must have been tryouts.
Well, for me, no.
Okay. All right.
They were able to look at your video. That's the good thing about CVs is that my brother actually created a business for it called Sportfolio.
Interesting.
And it was because of how important it is to, if you have good enough highlights and if you have enough where coaches are interested in seeing you, sometimes you might be able to bypass that because they understand how valuable you are. So I was lucky enough to get that and get past the trial part. But again, to reference to your point that there's maybe 500 youth players, 5,000 youth players within one area that are coming out, and this is upon multiple areas, right? And a professional team will select maybe like 30 teams will pick somebody up.
Oh, wow.
So I'm saying that maybe 90% of the kids who don't make it, then they have to figure it out again. So that's why I'm saying reaching out is the most important thing you can do, because you don't want to limit yourself to one system. You don't want to limit yourself to one area. The world's broad.
Okay, so then you were signed by this team. So tell us a little about this team that you've signed with.
Yeah, I signed for Jerez de los Caballeros. They are in the area of Extremadura in Spain, which would be about an hour away from Sevilla. Okay. That's one of the main cities there. I'm in the top 3 divisions. Oh, nice. The competition there is insane. I'm playing with some Spanish legends that come around, thousands of fans. So it's a lot. It's a lot to handle, but I'm super excited about it. I'm ready to get to work. And that's that. Forgive me for my lack of knowledge here. Has the season started yet? Yes, we're on break right now, but I signed in the January window, which is the winter window. Okay. So I start from January.
All right, so have you played a game yet?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so you're going to go back to Spain this month. It's January now.
Yeah,
yes.
in a day.
In a day, yeah. All right. And then you're going to play sort of your first professional game.
Yes.
Okay, and do you know if you're going to get time?
No, I gotta win the coach over there, you know, but I'm confident in myself that if I train well enough, if I do what I need to do, I'll get minutes on the field. Okay, and then what's your plan for your future career then? As of right now, it's really what we were just talking about. I just want to get minutes. Okay. You know, I'm with a team of veterans, so I have a lot of competition, a lot to hold up to. But at the same time, it's really good for me is getting experience, right? To be 19, the youngest in the club, I get picked on a little bit, but you know, to get these experiences and these this time to play with, you know, some 38-year-old legends, some 35-year-old legends, people who have families, who've done this for years, will only help me as I grow. So it's just to gain as much experience, gain as much time on the field, and go from there. Do you know of any other Pakistani Canadians that are professional footballers? Professional footballers, I don't know. I know within Spain, there's not. Okay. So I'm sure there are professional footballers, but no, within Spain, no. So that's a lot for you to carry on top of everything else. Do you recognize that? Do you feel the weight of that? Yeah, I mean, it is one of the points. I am the youngest Canadian-Pakistani football player to be in Spain. To be the youngest or a first in this world is super rare because everyone's basically done everything. So to be that person for those two big countries, like Pakistan, I don't even know the population, Canada as well, like to be the first or youngest in one of those is remarkable to me. It's like an honor. Comes with pressure, but at the same time, I'm ready to be that. I want to be somebody that people can look up to and say, I want to follow a career like his, or I want to do something similar to him. Because I really am just a regular kid from Newmarket, Ontario, you know, simple household. I never had something that was so extraordinary. I just had to really work hard. And do you have it's times where you sort of like pinch yourself saying like, this doesn't happen to people like me, or ways to keep yourself humble? No, because I think my parents kind of keep me humble for the most part, and I have a good friend group who also kind of, you know, they keep me grounded. Yeah. So I know what I'm doing is not normal, and it's a very big thing, but I don't like to dwell about it, or I don't like to retell myself that. I like to just stay focused and keep working hard. And then I believe you have an Instagram page, right? What's the profile, if you could? It's Armaan_Wasti. I post pretty regular about my lifestyle, about how I got to where I am, what I do to keep up with these players, and I'll be posting more. So if you want to follow me, you want to message me, check me out, I'll try and respond as quick as I can. And then a big question I have, because you're playing it in Spain, if I'm sitting here in Canada and I wanted to watch you play, how do I do that? I get the games back, and whatever clips I'll get, I'm going to repost them so people are aware of what I'm doing and seeing our team perform. But our team is all over socials. It's on Google. I'm sure there's a YouTube channel that the games get posted on, so you can check out all the games on there. But as far as my personal clips, I'll be posting on my Instagram. Okay, that's excellent, because I definitely, for one, will be following Armaan. Very excited to see where you end up, both from the point of view of just playing sports, and it's not easy being an elite athlete, being at the level that you're at. So that in itself is impressive, but also representing Canadians and Pakistanis and immigrants, and being a trailblazer, essentially, right? Like you don't have a reference point. You're figuring out how to get there, and you know others are watching. And I have to say, I, for one, am very, very impressed with how you've done so far.
पाकिस्तानी नौजवान क्रिकेट के अलावा फुटबॉल में भी मुल्क का नाम रोशन कर रहे हैं। ऐसे ही एक बासलाहियत पाकिस्तानी नयाद कैनेडियन अरमान वास्ती ने प्रोफेशनल फुटबॉल में अपनी मेहनत, जज्बे और महारत से दुनिया को हैरान कर दिया। 10 साल की उम्र से टोरंटो, कनाडा में फुटबॉल खेलने वाले अरमान ने कनाडा के मुख्तलिफ क्लब्स में शानदार कारकर्दगी दिखाई। उनकी लगन और शौक ने उन्हें स्पेन के मारूफ प्रोफेशनल फुटबॉल क्लब तक पहुंचाया, जहां उन्होंने यूथ डिवीजन में खेलते हुए अपनी महारत का लोहा मनवाया। अब वो अपनी शानदार परफॉर्मेंस के सबब तीसरे डिवीजन कैनेडियन में खेल रहे हैं और फख्र के साथ पाकिस्तान और कनाडा दोनों की नुमाइंदगी कर रहे हैं। इससे पहले अरमान इटली भी गए, जहां एक मशहूर यूनानी लेजेंड ने 500 नौजवान खिलाड़ियों में से सिर्फ 25 का इंतखाब किया और उन्हें कप्तान मुकर्रर किया। इस टीम के साथ अरमान ने बड़े बैनुल अक़वामी क्लब्स के खिलाफ मुकाबले खेले और अपनी कायदाना सलाहियतों का सबूत दिया।
मेरा नाम अरमान वास्ती है। I'm the youngest Pakistani-Canadian player to be playing in the divisions of Spain at the age of 19. I started my football career at 10 years old. Bachpan se I've been playing sports. I played throughout the teams here in Canada from 10 to 16 to where I landed my big shot where a player who played with Maradona came and picked me up out of 1,000 players to not only be the 25th player to be in Italy, but to be the captain and go support Canada and Toronto and represent them in Italy against the top clubs. From Italy, I made it to Spain to now where I'm the youngest Pakistani Canadian to sign in Spain at the age of 19 in one of the top divisions. I want to be one of the leaders of Pakistan and take them to the Asia Cup or the World Cup in the coming up few years. I want to represent them and be one of the players that Pakistan represents as the best in football.
अरमान वास्ती का हतमी ख्वाब है एशिया कप में पाकिस्तान की नुमाइंदगी करना और मुल्क के लिए आलमी सतह पर कामयाबियां हासिल करना। उनकी कहानी साबित करती है कि मेहनत, लगन और जज्बा किसी भी सरहद को अबूर कर सकते हैं और ख्वाब हकीकत में बदल सकते हैं।
So one other question I have is there possibly in the future that you could represent Pakistan in football in some capacity?
For sure, for sure. You know, I have a Pakistani origin. My parents are from there, so I have all the credibility and all the papers to be able to represent Pakistan one day. You know, they have the Asia Cup coming up. I'd love to be the forefront for that. I'd love to be able to help Pakistan reach certain goals. And as far as football is, you know, Pakistan have insane talent there. I've been a lot of times to where I've been able to see on the road kids who are playing, but you know, unfortunately, some are unprivileged, and it's something I want to be able to change. I want to be able to bring resources to Pakistan. I want to be able to make an academy in Pakistan and really shine a light on them that we have talent there too, even though we may not have the privileges or the ability to spend as much or have the correct cameras, but the talent is there. And if I can bring that light towards them, then I want to do that. And the same goes for representing them in the World Cup.
Oh, that's excellent. So I, for one, would be very excited to see you play in Spain. It sounds like you're a pleasure to watch to play. So I would love to see that. If you could represent Pakistan, Canada, either country, both country, I think that would be fabulous. I wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you.
I, for one, am very impressed by Armaan Wasti. We told you a little bit about his Instagram profile. I already follow him, and I will definitely be looking for game clips to see Armaan in action. Thank you very much for joining us.